Hello everyone, welcome back to Archer Mix. Today we're making gluten-free banana bread. So we will need 2 cups of white rice flour. Run it through a sieve just to remove any lumps. I'll add 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. Add a pinch of salt. And in a separate bowl, put 1 big tablespoon and a half of oil or butter. Here I'm using melted butter. Now add 1/2 cup of milk. Now go ahead and add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. It doesn't have to be liquid, you can use any that you have. Now we will add 3 eggs. Mix the liquid ingredients together and set aside. Mash the 3 ripe bananas and add them to the wet ingredients and give it a good mix. Go ahead and add 3/4 of a cup of sugar or 50 grams. Now we move on to mixing the dry and the wet ingredients. So we add the wet to the dry and mix vigorously. We just try to fold in the wet ingredients into the flour and the baking powder and baking soda. We just have to make sure to get all the lumps because rice flour acts a little bit differently, so you have to really be patient and work it. Here I'm going to add a handful of walnuts. It's optional, you don't have to add this, but it gives a nice texture. I like that. I almost always add raisins to the banana bread. Today I'm skipping it, but you can totally add as much as you want, like between 1/2 cup and 2/3 of a cup, depending on how sweet you want it. Now let's move on. We're gonna make here a mixture of 1 tablespoon of cinnamon and 2 tablespoons of sugar. I'm using date powder, and we mix it together. We set it aside. Go ahead and grease your cake mold. I'm using a Pyrex container instead. It's just much safer than regular cake molds because once they get scratched, they can leach chemicals into the food. So I prefer, whenever I can, I use Pyrex instead. So here we are going to add 1/2 of the batter, and then we're going to sprinkle that mix that we used, that we prepared earlier, the cinnamon and the sugar. And then we're going to add the next 1/2. And also you can sprinkle on top, which I didn't here, I forgot. But however, you can always add it after it finishes baking and just before serving. Once it finishes baking, we let it cool on our wire rack for about 10 to 15 minutes. And then we just slide a sharp knife all around, and then we just pop it out of the container or mold. Make sure to hit the like button if you're enjoying this content, and make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon to get notified once I upload new videos. I wish you well, and I'll see you again in the next video.